Wall Street investors remained disappointed with the final debate between Trump and Biden. Laconic and careful answers of both candidates did not allow them to determine a winner of the debates, so the equity market simply ignored this event. Experts say that US indices are likely to be trading flat. During the week, the Dow Jones Industrial Average tried to develop an upward movement but failed. It was only able to recoup some of its early losses after an increase. At the end of the week, the quote stopped at 28,321, losing 1.07% over the week. Optimism in the stock market was restrained by the lack of progress in negotiations on the new stimulus package. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi does not give up hope about the likelihood of approval of the bill before the presidential election. At the same time, she admitted that it would take a while to write the bill. Uncertainty over the stimulus deal pushed down other indices as well. At the end of the last week, the Nasdaq lost 2.25%, closing at 11,692. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said that they would back the right deal for more COVID-19 relief, but Nancy Pelosi must compromise in order to reach a final agreement. The S&P 500 index managed to advance after the publication of the IHS Markit Composite PMI results. Indicators showed a stable recovery from the pandemic, so the US indices closed the trading week in the black. The S&P 500, a benchmark index that tracks 500 large-cap companies, finished the week at 3,467, with the smallest losses of 0.94%. Among best-performing stocks last week, Gilead Sciences rose considerably as the US Food and Drug Administration approved the antiviral drug Veklury for the treatment of patients with COVID. Veklury is now the first and only approved COVID-19 treatment in the US. Stocks of the pharmaceutical companies soared to the level of $63.50 during the week amid this news. However, by the close of weekly trading, the quote corrected and even lost 1.56%. Funny enough, Mattel, manufacturers of Barbie, notched a more stable increase. Besides, the company has been able to score big gains amid the pandemic. The firm's shares rose by 9.59% over the week. Mattel saw a sharp growth in sales of both dolls and related accessories thanks to demand for products that can entertain children during quarantine restrictions. At the same time, Intel suffered losses. The company released its earnings report for the third quarter, but its revenue was much lower than expected. Intel pinpointed that people were more interested in cheaper laptop models. In addition, there was a significant reduction in purchases among companies and government organizations whose spending was cut during the first wave of the pandemic. Intel shares dropped by 11.62% for the week, closing at $48.14. American Express, the credit card issuer, also unveiled disappointing results. Company announced a decrease in quarterly income by about 40% due to a drop in consumer spending on credit cards. Over the week, stocks of American Express fell by 3.81% to $100.70. This week, Alphabet, Apple, Amazon and Facebook are scheduled to release their earnings reports. Market participants are highly anticipating the results of Facebook earnings report. There are speculations that the US trade watchdogs intend to file an antitrust lawsuit against Facebook. They suspect that the social media giant was trying to eliminate potential competitors through the acquisition of Instagram and WhatsApp. Last week, Facebook stocks ended the week with gains jumping by 6.29% to $285.07. You've watched Weekly Financial Review on Insta TV with me, Anna Kasatkina. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to always keep track of all the latest events on financial markets. See you back soon.